Hello everyone and welcome to Groovers and Shakers. My name is Matilda Magna and I'm your host for this evening or this morning or this afternoon. Anyway, I have created this podcast as your 20s are more than just a mad phase. They're full of bold moves, dreams and lots of stories. This podcast shines a light on young people under 35 who are doing exciting, inspiring and funky things. Real convos with real people. Today we are talking with the amazing Lisa Ruud Johansson, soon to be international rugby player on Saturday, making her first cap. Lisa's very passionate about a lot of things, including women in sport, Swedish rugby, food, travel, sandy beaches, and ABBA. Lisa, welcome.
Hi, thank you.
So you are an international rugby goddess. How does that feel?
It's kind of come like a shock, to be honest. I only started playing not that long ago at uni, and then, I don't know, it's just been on a bit of a side quest this year, I feel, and now all of a sudden I'm getting to play. It's very exciting.
And how did you actually first get into rugby? What inspired you to get into rugby?
I think there are multiple things. So, like, the first thing I saw of rugby was when I was in London as an au pair, and I woke up to the Rugby World Cup final in 2019 in like November. We had South Africans and English people in the house, and it was very tense because they were obviously in the final. So that was kind of the first introduction to it, I guess. And then when I decided to go to uni, I wanted to do a sport, and I've done sports before, but never rugby. And they didn't have, so I played handball before, that they didn't have handball.
Yeah. What was your kind of first impressions of it when you went to university?
That was still during COVID time, so I remember we had to go down and like sign up on the app, and it's like, how many people have you met or whatever. It was just, wow, this is weird. And then we did this introduction thing, and it was so fun.
Everyone was so welcoming.
Exactly, yeah. I think that was the big thing as well. Like, it's just such a welcoming environment, and I think especially if you're coming like as an international student, like you don't know that many people, and then you like right away get into this group and you feel so welcome, and like that has really become my home away from home, I'd say.
And you ended up playing with the local, like with the city team as well as the university team. When did you join the local team?
Well, that was thanks to you.
Oh.
I don't know if you remember, but you asked me, do you want to come play a game? And I said, oh yeah, that sounds fun. You forgot to mention that we were travelling 5 hours to Caithness at 5 in the morning.
My first match in Aberdeen, I was like, oh, where are we going? You know, thinking that we were travelling like an hour away or something. And it was like 6 hours later on the bus, and then 3 hours later on the ferry, we were finally at the pitches, and I was like, what have I signed up to? What advice would you give to young women aspiring to play rugby at an international level?
First, I would say start playing. It's work on the pitch and outside the pitch, and I think it's a lot of like mental stuff that goes into it as well. I think that is something that I'm maybe struggling with now as well, especially being quite new to the sport. Like, you feel a bit, I don't want to say imposter syndrome, because that's not right either, because like you've done the work, you've done stuff, but at the same time, like, how did little me end up here, that kind of thing. Obviously there's a bit of luck in there as well. You need to get in contact with good coaches and play with good people and that kind of thing. And I think main thing, just seek opportunities to play and do that as much as you possibly can.
I think it's 100% a thing that anyone feels, no matter what, type of industry or sports that they're going into. There's definitely a phase where people, especially at the beginning, don't feel like they're good enough. Not good enough to be there, but like, how on earth did I end up in this situation? I think too, like, yeah, definitely luck comes down to it, but I think you also, like, you do need to be good, and you wouldn't just be there for no reason, if you know what I mean. It's because you're exceptionally talented at what you do. So I guess that's kind of exciting as well.
I think I haven't fully grasped it yet. So obviously it hasn't happened. Like I've been in camp and stuff, and the actual game is happening soon, and that is very exciting. It's a bit hard to grasp. It feels I feel very honoured as well. I would have to say, like so many good players like that have come before me as well, and like having the opportunity to like be there in that jersey as well, and hopefully do something good with it is very exciting.
I know you're very, very passionate about this subject. Have you ever personally faced gender-based challenges in rugby, and how did you overcome those challenges?
I think it's easy and hard to answer because there's so much of it, but in different ways. I feel like there's aspects of that like inequality in everything. Obviously, clubs and unis are working hard to try to like kind of close those gaps, but it is still a bit of a challenge. I remember when a couple of years ago the girls had to get changed in the toilets and the guys got the real changing rooms, like that kind of thing. Like it doesn't seem like much, but when you always get put there, it's like, well, do we not matter enough to get changing rooms?
Why aren't they doing like a roster based system where why aren't the men getting changed in the bathroom say 1 week and we get to use the actual changing room? But it was kind of a constant thing, wasn't it, where every single time there was a match we had to go and get changed in the bathrooms, which is kind of insane, I think.
And also just like being in there, because that meant everyone else had to go in and do their business there while we were getting changed, but supposed to like get hyped up for our games. And how do you do that when you have people running in and out and you're trying to do your motivational speeches beforehand and stuff? It just kind of ruins it.
What role do you think media plays in shaping like the perception of women's sports? And do you think female athletes are getting enough visibility in the media?
Like I remember when I was younger, like ice hockey is a huge thing in Sweden. Men's ice hockey would be on TV all the time, but I'd never seen women's ice hockey being played, even though it is being played at like a high level as well. But same with like football. I feel like now there's been kind of a shift. I don't know if that maybe has to do with the success of like bigger countries, like, you know, the Lionesses winning the Euros, if it was like a couple of years ago. But from what I can see, the women themselves are also more inclined to work with the media in a way. I don't know if you saw, but over the weekend when during the Six Nations, they were interviewing Sarah Byrne after the game, and like they did a TikTok in the middle of the interview. Like you don't see men's players doing that, and that is obviously helping getting the young fans and that sort of thing. It's just going from not having been very visible in the media to like to this. I think it's been a huge progression, and I'm hoping it'll stay that way and that people are going to keep going to watch. And like lots of the games for the Women's Rugby World Cup, for example, like they're sold out because people want to go watch. Which is amazing.
I think too, I mean, I think she's absolutely incredible, but Ilona Maher.
Yeah, I know her impact has been huge. So I hope that they manage to like continue to ride that wave, and hopefully like more people come watch, because it's so exciting to watch. So hopefully like maybe she brought people in, but hopefully they're staying even after.
Because it's actually mental, because like I grew up in a very rugby orientated family when I was younger. Like both my brothers played rugby, my dad, my grandfather, my cousins were all super duper into rugby. But I genuinely, until I was about 15 years of age, had no idea that women's rugby was a thing, like at all, which I think is absolutely mad, because I grew up in Ireland, and like obviously Ireland has got such a prevalent rugby industry. So it's just kind of great to see the rising profiles of all of these female Irish rugby players and like international rugby players coming up. So it's all very exciting. Okay, if you could sit down with decision makers in sports federations, what's the first thing you'd ask them to change for women in sports?
a lot of it comes down to funding again. Like, people keep talking about how the level needs to be higher for people wanting to watch it, but then how can the level be higher if all these women also have full-time jobs on the side? They don't have the chance to recover. They don't have the chance to work out as much in the gym as they would need to then be at this level that they need to be. Then you get people saying, well, they don't bring in the money, so you can't just give it to them. But that's not what anyone's asking for either. Like, they're not asking for the salary of like a professional football player playing in Premier League. Like
$5 million.
Asking for livable wage.
What would you say to a young girl who is hesitant to join a male-dominated sport like rugby? Because, I mean, like, I know as a young person, I had a few friends that I would try, and like I saw that they could potentially be really, really good rugby players, and I'd try and get them involved, but they were just terrified to join in.
It is a hard one. I feel like I also have friends where like I look at them and see what they can do, and I'm like, you should play.
And I mean, it is intimidating to watch. Like, even on the sideline, sometimes, you know, when you're in it, it feels like you're going off to war, like in the medieval time. It's so exciting. But
Yes.
watching it on the sideline, like it is intense. Like, it's so intense. So I can kind of see why you would be hesitant to join.
Yeah, but I think just give it a go. Like, it is not for everyone, and that's fine. But I think don't say it's not for you if you haven't tried it yet. Like, as you were saying, you're going to war, but you're going to war with your friends. Like, you're doing it together. It's a team sport on like a different level, I would say, because it's all about like protecting your friends.
So you absolutely like smash each other up on a pitch, and then you shake hands and we sing a little song, and then we go off. We have drinks together and a little lunch. Like, it's so bizarre. It's amazing. Moving on from rugby. Now, Lisa, when you're not on the rugby field, you like to spend some time on some sandy beaches. What's your ultimate beach destination and why? And you've been to some pretty cool places. Like, I've seen you traveled all around Europe. You've been to Sydney, Australia. Classed as, I'm not being biased, but classed as one of the best beaches in the world. So, love to hear your opinion.
I really like traveling. I think we've done that quite a lot even since I was younger, and I guess like living in Europe is quite accessible to go different places without having to pay a fortune. I'm actually heading to Thailand fairly soon, which is very exciting. We're going to Koh Lanta, so it's like close to Krabi.
For the countries that you've gone to, what country had the best food?
I love Greek food. All the the chicken skewers, the like feta cheese, the salads, yum. Also really like Italian. And very nice food in Italy, obviously.
For everyone listening, to all the viewers out there, I stayed with Lisa in Aberdeen, and you made the most delicious salad I've ever eaten in my entire life. Would you like to expand on this salad?
Sweet potato, I think. Is it feta?
Lemon, garlic, I feel.
Was it
like a little bit of garlic?
Lemon and garlic, like a vinaigrette kind of thing, maybe? Like, I'm very happy that you enjoyed it, because it's very much like a fridge raid. Like, what do we have that could become a meal? And just...
No, it was on... I just remember, like, it was the best thing I've ever eaten. It was gorgeous. I think, too, I feel like whenever you sprinkle lemon, salt, and garlic onto something, it always just is beautiful. And it was very kind of Mediterranean. Okay, now... Sweden. Let's have a chat about Sweden. Sweden has a beautiful, rich cultural history, from ABBA to stunning landscapes. How do you think Sweden's culture has shaped you as an athlete and an individual?
Volunteering is a big part of the culture, like volunteering for your local clubs, like that kind of thing. Everyone's part of föreningslivet, as they call it. So like my parents were involved and they coached me when I was younger, and then my friends' parents coached football, so we went to that, and then some other person's dad coached the table tennis, so we did that, and then like everyone's parents just coached all the sports, so you just went and you did that kind of thing. I guess growing up in a small community where everyone's really trying to get people to do things, you get to try a lot and you get to see what you like, which I guess has kind of shaped me in that way, maybe. Like, always enjoying sports. I guess when I was younger, I never really played at like a higher level. So obviously, like representing Sweden, like, is very much a new thing. When I was younger, I tried to play for like regional stuff, and I think it was often like a confidence thing. Like, I really enjoyed playing handball, but I never really thought I was very good at it. But I don't know if that has to do, maybe with the culture, because I don't know if you know, but there's this huge thing about the Swedish mentality that you shouldn't think that you're any better than anyone else.
Oh, okay. Very similar to Irish culture. We have a word for it, and it's called if you think that you're better than someone else, you've got notions. For having notions. I don't know if we have a word for that in Sweden.
We call it jantelagen, so the law of jante, which is that, like, don't you think that you're better than anyone else?
I think it is good to have some form of some type of like a balance, though, like where you keep yourself humble and grounded or whatever. But then you also kind of have to have some form of confidence that, like, obviously you do because you've gotten this far, kind of a thing as well. So you kind of have to have some form of a confidence in yourself. But I think sometimes people can take it too far, where they're like, they think that they may be like God walking amongst humans.
When you tell someone that they did really well, or like if you played a game or something, you're like, oh, well done, and they just say, thanks, I know.
I'm literally in the music industry, so every single time I try to compliment someone, they just turn to me and go, I know, thank you, and walk, and I'm like, oh, okay. Very kind. What are some of your long-term goals, both in rugby and outside of the sport? Like, do you have aspirations in the world of food, travel, or is it something entirely different to that?
I'm graduating from university
Oh my God.
soon. So will be a new chapter either way. I don't necessarily know what that is going to look like, but I'm really hoping that I'll be able to continue to play rugby wherever that is, because again, even though I haven't played for that long, I feel like that's really become my whole personality. Like, I don't know what I'll do if I don't play rugby now. I feel like I have so much more to learn, and I am really looking forward to that. And I don't know, obviously, like, I study politics at the moment, and the world of politics is a wild one at the moment, or always, I guess. So we'll see what happens with that. But like playing more rugby and being involved in like different decision making positions in the teams I've played, and like that sort of thing, like I've really created an interest in maybe working in sport in some way as well. I just don't know what that would look like.
Well, I think you are going to be someone to 100% look out for the future. It's all very, very, very exciting. And I was thinking, would you like to do some promotion for your match on Saturday? So what time? Where do we watch? Where is it being played at? Give us a bit more info.
Sweden's playing against Spain for the Rugby Women's Championship. Kickoff is at 4 local time in Valencia, and this will be streamed on the Rugby Europe TV website. So yeah, tune in. Rugby Europe
Link
TV.
Below. Link below. Or link, I think they do it on like TikTok, and they go like, link here.
Link here.
Link here. How do you maintain balance in your life with such a demanding career? So you are a student at the moment, I presume. So you had to hand in your dissertation. You've already handed in your dissertation. That's off our radar right now. But obviously there's so much stuff. You're in fourth year. There's a lot of stuff going on. And you obviously you're also an international rugby player about to make their cut. What activities help you to unwind outside of rugby?
I've been watching quite a lot of TV recently. Are you up to date on the White Lotus?
I've never seen White Lotus. You know there's only one show that I watch. There's only one show. No.
What's the one show? Glee.
Once upon a time. But please update us on White Lotus.
It's quite entertaining. It's, when you think about it, it's really just like a gossip session. Like you watch these rich people on holiday and see what they're up to, which is kind of fun.
Do you like to do any form of self-care?
Rugby and your own training in the gym and stuff. Which I guess is self-care in a way, but I'm not that good at that aspect. Maybe that is something I should incorporate in my routine.
Yeah. Yes. Drop into what is it? Primark and grab those. No, sorry, I shouldn't be saying that. Shop locally. Yes, to a little boutique in Aberdeen, and grab those face masks. Okay, and final question of the day. What advice would you give to yourself 10 years ago?
To maybe not worry so much. Like, things seem very stressful and seems like everything is the end of the world. It is not. I know that doesn't help when you feel like that's the case, but sometimes if you just chill, things will work out. But I would say at the same time, like, believe in yourself a bit more. You are good at more things than you think. And if you just believe in yourself a bit more, those things that seem really difficult won't be as difficult because you know you can do it.
Thank you so much, Lisa, for coming on my podcast.
You are so welcome. This has been an honour. Oh my God. I had so much fun. It's nice to speak to you.
Thank you so much for listening. Give us a follow on Instagram, Groovers and Shakers. That's Groovers with a Z and Shakers with a Z. And then also give us a follow on TikTok to see some behind the scenes stuff. Yep, let's go.